Alex Wassabi is a really nice guy, and that's what's going to lose him this upcoming fight. Welcome back to Gloves Up. It's episode 3. I am your host, Jacob Cooperman, also known as the Jewish Jawline, the Soundboard God, and I figured today we could break down the upcoming Alex Wassabi and KSI fight. It's not set in stone necessarily, but it seems like amongst the fight community, at least the YouTube boxing community, that this is the fight to make. So first off, as always, let's get to the tail of the tape for these two gentlemen.
And they say for the block, not even for the cops. Say they say for the block, not even for the cops. Say they say for the block, not even for the cops. Say they say for the block, not even for the cops. Say they say.
Listen, as always, I'm a fair man. I like to see the positives and the negatives of both sides of a fight. I'll start with Alex Wassabi. I think he's very, very technical. I think he might be one of the most technical YouTube boxers, if not the most technical YouTube boxer out of the bunch. The way he throws combinations, the way he moves, how defensively responsible he is, keeping his hands up. The only thing I would say is he has a little bit of trouble entering into the pocket. He kind of falls into shots rather than walking into them and using his footwork. Besides that, though, the kid is very, very talented, very, very fluid, and I can't say enough good things about his technique. KSI, he has heart, he has grit, he has power. His intimidation that he brings into the ring, that factor can do volumes for him. Now, he did say that we'd see a completely different KSI, but I do like what Logan Paul said on, I believe it was True Jordy's podcast, when he said that KSI has a dog inside of him, and that'll come out regardless of how much forward progress he's made with his boxing career. Now, another thing I really like about KSI, while he hasn't had a lot of experience as a boxer, and he is relatively green, I still think that dog mentality that he carries with him inside of the ring, that to me undoubtedly helps bridge that skill gap between him and his opponents. KSI, he just has this thing about him, he closes the distance, he makes it sloppy. You know, that can be useful in a lot of situations. It'd be different with an Alex Wassabi, where I don't think he has that same type of dog mentality. If Alex Wassabi closes in, gets sloppy, he can't afford to do that. KSI can. Back to Wassabi, I looked at the highlights with his Deji fight, right? I thought, again, he looked very technical. He looked very, very clean. He kept his hands up. He never was in real trouble over the course of that fight. And even in the clinch, he disengaged quickly. And a lot of the shots that Deji was throwing, trying to be a little bit of a dirty boxer, it didn't seem like it got through to Alex like I think it was intended to. I guess my basic critique of that fight would just be that Wassabi looked slow. It was easy, and I don't know if this is more of a mark towards Deji or a mark against Wassabi, is that whenever Wassabi would throw, it seemed like it was easy for Deji to get out of the way. Part of me thinks that Alex might be a step behind where he needs to be, right? And if he's gonna go up against a guy like KSI that has that ferocity, I don't think you can sacrifice that type of timing when you're in the pocket. When a guy like KSI can whoop, 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 and just quickly unload a barrage of shots while you're in there. In terms of KSI, if we're talking about his last fight, it's obviously the fact that, yeah, he got way too wild. Does Wassabi have that power that if KSI gets too wild, or again, that mentality, if KSI gets too wild to potentially go for the finish? I don't know. But I think that's something that KSI needs to be wary of. He needs to clean up on his technique. KSI's fast, but I think he leaves himself open. Now, sure, Wassabi does the same thing, but KSI throws these looping shots over the top. He leaves his head exposed, right? His footwork, his movement isn't the best, and I think that can leave him very, very vulnerable if he's not careful. Ultimately, for me, it comes down to who wants it more. I think that if either guy can make up significantly for their downsides, they should actually be able to complement each other really, really well. Right? Like if KSI can get very technically sound in this fight and he doesn't throw too many combinations, and if Wassabi can kind of it seems like this lack of aggression that he has inside of the ring, him being much more of I think like a point fighter would be a good word to describe him, then I think this could be a collision for the ages. I think this could be an absolute classic. The way I see it going now, though, if you want my personal opinion, I see, KSI probably getting Wassabi out of there. I think a standing 10 count could be much more of a potentiality. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. This has been Gloves Up, episode 3. Thank you so much for watching. I've been your boy Coop, the Jewish Jawline, the Soundboard God, and I'll see you guys in the next installment. Thanks.